So the steaks that we're going to be cooking are ribeye steaks. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take our prepping plate here and make sure that we season out the prepping plate. So I'm just going to add some Himalayan pink salt here, just going to grind it in. This is going to be the cut of meat that we are going to be working with here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there on top of our prepping table. Some more salt on top. You want to make sure that you get seasoning onto that fat cap. We're going to go ahead and add some black pepper. When you're looking at that fat cap right there, you want to make sure that you get seasoning on that too. So a great place to use that, or to do that, is to move the fat cap along your prep plate and everywhere else where you already have seasoning so that you're not wasting it. We're going to be basting the steak, but in order to do that, we're going to have some garlic, some butter. So I'm going to go ahead and start prepping that right now. Okay, we're gonna give it a little smash, make sure it's activated. You can even leave the skins on. It doesn't end up as a part of the steak or anything like that. We're only gonna be using it as a part of the baste. This butter is really going to be the foundation for the baste that you're going to be making. I'm gonna be using about half a stick of unsalted butter. That off, and then we're gonna put that in our prep plate. We wanna be generous with the amount of olive oil that we're gonna be using, because we definitely wanna create a nice thick layer and we don't wanna burn that steak immediately. There we go. Let's give it a little swish around here. Okay, perfect. And remember, when we put it down, we're going to make sure that we put it down away from us so that the splash doesn't hit me. See that sizzle? Absolutely love that sizzle. I'm just giving a quick pat down, okay? And I want to leave it there for a little bit just so that it can really get that sear down before I give it a flip. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a look. Perfect. So now we've got this great browning. Do we see that it's browning and beautiful? Yes, but we want to make sure we get that fat cap. I'm gonna add in our thyme. Okay. And then we're gonna add in our butter. And then we're gonna add in our garlic. There we go. And then just baste it. Get that flavor right on the steak. And continue basting it. You have to make sure you let it sit. So we're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat here. And we're gonna let it sit on our cutting board. You want it to sit for a couple of minutes because something that a lot of people don't take into account is the fact that even though you've taken it off the pot, it's still cooking. When you look at the steak, you always wanna look at the grain of the steak. You want to see where the grain is, and you want to make sure that you cut against that grain. So here, you'll see that the direction of the grain is here. So because of that, I can see the direction that the grain is moving, and I'll know that I'm going to be slicing the steak in this direction. So it's definitely a long cut. And this is why it's important to cut against the grain. Because when you see it in pieces like that, cut against the grain, you can see that your teeth and your hands barely have to put in any effort to just tear the meat apart. Here you go. Very Cambodian. And very delicious.